Oh, look at this. That's nice and shiny. Look at this. Oh, look at this.
Do not hit my
Eat a Helicopter Collector's Edition package.
it's a collector's item.
I wouldn't do that.
February of 2026, the old school deathcore band Eat a Helicopter started making some cryptic posts on their Facebook indicating some sort of upcoming release. Within a few days, the band announced a collector's edition triple release of all the music they had ever put out on CD, plus a limited edition merch drop. Eat a Helicopter was an important band to me during my formative high school years when I was introduced to and began deep diving into heavy music. So I immediately jumped at the opportunity to pick up this collector's edition package, especially since I've become a CD collector long after I first learned of this band and very long after they stopped selling CDs of their music. I don't even remember how I found out about Eat a Helicopter. If I had to guess, I was probably just scrolling YouTube looking for new music, and their name obviously stuck out enough for me to click on them. From that moment, I was immediately drawn in by songs like Shot in the Hand with a Nail Gun off of the Pessimist EP, which is still heavily in my rotation to this day, even more than a decade later, as well as songs like Blood Dynasty. This band and these songs to me perfectly represent that old school era of deathcore that still holds a special place in my heart even until this day. When I think of CDs like Born of Osiris's The New Rain, the Chelsea Grin's self-titled EP, Carnifex's Dead in My Arms, it brings you back to tiny, shitty little venues, shows with under 50 people, dark, unfinished basements where you would play shitty deathcore covers with your friends. It really feels and breathes like it was written and recorded in a dank basement in the late thousands, which is where this kind of music was meant to be experienced and played. You won't find that nostalgia, that vibe in newer music with crystalline and ultra-tight production. In that way, I really do believe it has a certain soul to it. Now, please know that I also love modern metal music. I think everything has its time and place, and I think there's room to love both. But that doesn't mean that I don't miss this old era of music that Eat a Helicopter brings me back to. Let's get into the unboxing. Here's the box set. And numbered 4 out of 245. Crazy that I got that low of a number. And here is each of the CDs. We have The Pessimist, Descend into Darkness, and Evolution of Violence. First thing I noticed is it comes with a sticker. Very cool. Here is The Pessimist. This is the first songs that I ever heard from this band. It was the one that really hooked me into them, especially, like I mentioned, Shot in the Hand with a Nail Gun, track 3. We've got the track list on the back. One thing that I think is fine, but maybe I was initially a little disappointed by, was the fact that the album artwork has been redone in kind of a different artistic style. So this isn't the exact album artwork that you'd be familiar with if you knew the band's earlier work or had streamed it. But all in all, I'm totally fine with that. I'm just really happy to have gotten a copy of this as a physical CD, especially an EP that was so important and formative to me back in the day. And here we have the Descend into Darkness EP. Now again, the artwork has been redone for all 3 of these, so it's a bit of a different artistic style, maybe a little less violent, I would say, a little bit more drawn instead of realistic. But again, I'm just happy to have a copy of this with these songs that are so special. And then finally, we have the first and only full length from the band, Evolution of Violence, with the redone artwork and the track listing on the back. Very cool. Let's take a look at the inside of each of the jewel cases, starting with The Pessimist. We have the band listing, as well as the CD itself. Taking a look at the insert, we have lyrics to each of the songs, as well as a stylized background for the entirety of the insert. Very cool. Next, let's take a look at the inside of Descend into Darkness. We have the CD, as well as the insert. Based on what I'm seeing in terms of a pattern, it looks like the CDs are all gonna be the same art, just with like kind of the different color and album stylization. I'll put them up next to each other in a little bit, as well as the insert. Taking a look at the insert here, once again, we've got the lyrics with the artistic styling from the album artwork. And lastly, Evolution of Violence. Yep, just like I expected, the CD is the same styling, just with a different color. Let's take a look at the insert. Very cool art there in the middle. So there's the inside and the outside of each of the collector's edition CDs, front and the back, and the inside. How sick is that? Back into the insert for now. And now for the final piece of the unboxing, the t-shirt that I also got.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how many shows I'll have to wear this to until I get someone to recognize the band or the logo. If you're in the Chicagoland area and go to shows a lot, you'll probably see me. Let me know. All right, that's going to do it for this unboxing. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Eat a Helicopter and Ben There's Seen That for making this happen. It really means a lot to the old heads like me who have been wanting to see something like this for a really long time, and now it's finally a reality, and here we are. So I appreciate it, and stay tuned for whatever I've got coming next. Peace.